Imagine feeling completely in control of your emotions, no matter what life throws at you. Picture yourself letting go of the people and situations that no longer serve your peace of mind. What if you could detach from emotional pain, not by shutting down, but by rising above it? How would your life change if you could master the art of emotional detachment? As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Today, we're going to explore how you can apply this timeless wisdom to emotionally detach from the things and people that weigh you down and find a deep sense of inner peace. 1. Master the art of emotional detachment. Rule number 1. Master the art of emotional detachment. In Stoicism, emotional detachment isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. Instead, it's about learning to separate your emotions from the actions and opinions of others. Think of it as allowing yourself to feel your emotions without letting them control you. This way, you can stay calm and composed, responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Emotional detachment helps you maintain inner peace, no matter what's happening around you. 2. Embrace the power of self-reliance. Rule number 2. Embrace the power of self-reliance. Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from within, not from relying on others for emotional support or validation. When you cultivate self-reliance, you build confidence in your ability to handle life's challenges on your own. This doesn't mean you should isolate yourself, but rather that you should trust in your own inner resources. By depending less on others, you gain emotional independence, allowing you to navigate relationships from a place of strength rather than need. 3. Reframe your perspective. Rule number 3. Reframe your perspective. This principle is one of the most transformative aspects of Stoic philosophy, especially when it comes to emotional detachment. The Stoics believed that it's not the events in our lives that cause us distress, but rather our judgments and interpretations of those events. This idea is crucial in learning how to detach emotionally from someone or something that has impacted you deeply. When someone exits your life, a romantic partner, a close friend, or even a family member, it's natural to feel a sense of loss. You might find yourself overwhelmed with emotions like sadness, anger, or even fear about the future. Your initial reaction might be to view this change as something purely negative, something that has taken away a part of your happiness or stability. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your well-being was dependent on that person's presence, and without them, you might feel lost or incomplete. The Stoic approach challenges us to step back and reconsider this perspective. Instead of focusing solely on what has been lost, Stoicism invites us to ask, what can I learn from this experience? How can this situation contribute to my growth? By reframing the event in this way, you shift from a mindset of loss to one of opportunity. This doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending it doesn't exist. Acknowledging your feelings is an essential part of the process, but it does mean choosing not to be defined by that pain. Consider a breakup, for example. It's easy to dwell on the end of the relationship, replaying memories in your mind and lamenting the loss of what could have been. But what if instead you viewed this as an opportunity to rediscover yourself? Perhaps the end of the relationship allows you to focus on personal goals that you had set aside. Maybe it's a chance to build new friendships, explore new hobbies, or simply enjoy the freedom to live on your terms. By reframing the breakup as a doorway to new possibilities, you empower yourself to move forward rather than remaining stuck in the past. This shift in perspective is not about denying your emotions or minimizing the significance of what has happened. The pain you feel is real, and it deserves to be acknowledged. However, Stoicism teaches that while you may not be able to control the events that happen to you, you have full control over how you interpret and respond to those events. The power lies in your perception. When you actively choose to see a challenging situation as an opportunity for growth, you transform your emotional experience. The event that once caused you distress now becomes a source of strength, resilience, and wisdom. Another key aspect of reframing your perspective is recognizing the impermanence of all things. The Stoics often meditated on the transient nature of life, understanding that everything, including relationships, is subject to change. By embracing this impermanence, you can detach from the need to hold on to things or people that were never meant to stay forever. Instead of clinging to the past, you learn to appreciate the moments you shared while also being open to new experiences and relationships that life may bring your way. Reframing your perspective allows you to take responsibility for your emotional well-being. Rather than blaming external circumstances or other people for your feelings, you take ownership of how you choose to perceive the situation. This sense of ownership is empowering because it reminds you that your happiness and peace of mind are within your control, not dependent on others. Over time, this practice of reframing becomes a powerful tool for emotional detachment. You begin to see every situation, no matter how difficult, as an opportunity to grow, learn, and strengthen your character. You understand that while you cannot control what happens around you, you can always control how you choose to interpret and respond to those events. This mindset not only helps you detach emotionally from specific people or situations, but also equips you with a resilience that will serve you throughout your life. Reframing your perspective is about transforming your inner narrative. It's about shifting from a story of loss and victimhood to one of empowerment and growth. By doing so, you align yourself with the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with reason and virtue, finding peace in the understanding that you have the power to shape your emotional experience, no matter what life throws your way. 4. Focus on what you can control. Rule number 4. Focus on what you can control. This principle is perhaps one of the most central and powerful teachings in Stoicism, and it serves as a crucial tool for emotional detachment. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we should distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics believed that much of our emotional suffering arises from trying to control things that are inherently outside our power. By learning to focus only on what we can control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress, anxiety, and emotional turmoil. To begin understanding this concept, it's important to first recognize what is truly within our control. According to the Stoics, the only things we can control are our own thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else, such as the actions and opinions of others, the outcomes of events, or the circumstances we find ourselves in, is beyond our control. This distinction may seem simple, but it has profound implications for how we navigate life and manage our emotions. When you focus on what you can control, you take ownership of your inner world. For example, imagine you're in a situation where someone has treated you unfairly or harshly. Your initial reaction might be anger or hurt, and you might feel an overwhelming urge to change that person's behavior or make them see things from your perspective. But according to Stoic wisdom, this is where we often go wrong. Trying to control or change someone else's actions or opinions is a futile effort because it's outside your control. Instead, the Stoics would advise you to shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, how can I choose to respond to this situation? What thoughts or actions are within my power? By redirecting your energy to what you can control, your own mindset and behavior, you maintain your inner peace and avoid getting caught up in the turmoil caused by others. This practice is not about passive acceptance or indifference to injustice, Rather, it's about understanding where your true power lies. When you stop trying to control external factors and instead focus on your own responses, you become more resilient and less reactive. You're no longer a victim of circumstances, but rather an active participant in shaping your emotional experience. A key part of focusing on what you can control is letting go of the need to control outcomes. In many situations, we become emotionally attached to specific results, whether it's the success of a project, the outcome of a relationship, or even how others perceive us. This attachment can lead to anxiety, disappointment, and frustration when things don't go as planned. The Stoics teach us that while we can influence outcomes through our actions, we cannot control them. Therefore, our emotional well-being should not be tied to achieving a particular result. Instead, we should focus on doing our best in any given situation and accepting whatever outcome occurs with equanimity. This mindset allows you to detach from the fear of failure or rejection, knowing that you've done everything within your power and that the rest is beyond your control. Another important aspect of this rule is understanding the impermanence of life. Many of the things we try to control, relationships, possessions, social status, are transient and subject to change. By acknowledging this impermanence, you can release the need to hold on tightly to things that are outside your control. This doesn't mean you should be indifferent to the people or things you care about, but rather that you should appreciate them without becoming emotionally dependent on their presence or permanence. For example, if a close friendship ends or a significant change occurs in your life, focusing on what you can control helps you navigate the situation with grace and resilience, rather than being overwhelmed by the loss. Focusing on what you can control also empowers you to take responsibility for your own happiness and peace of mind. Often, we place the burden of our emotional well-being on external factors, such as how others treat us or the success of our endeavors. This external focus makes us vulnerable to emotional instability because we're constantly at the mercy of things beyond our control. The Stoics remind us that true happiness and inner peace come from within, by aligning our thoughts and actions with our values and principles, regardless of external circumstances. When you cultivate this inner stability, you become less affected by the ups and downs of life and more capable of maintaining emotional detachment in difficult situations. In practical terms, you can apply this Stoic principle by regularly reflecting on the challenges you face and asking yourself, what part of this situation is within my control? What can I do to positively influence my thoughts and actions? By consistently practicing this mindset, you'll find that you're better able to manage stress, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and maintain a sense of calm and control, even in the face of adversity. Focusing on what you can control is about recognizing and embracing your own agency. It's about understanding that while you may not have power over everything that happens to you, you always have the power to choose how you respond. This shift in focus not only helps you detach emotionally from situations beyond your control, but also strengthens your ability to live a more intentional, balanced, and fulfilling life. 5. Nurture inner peace over external validation. Rule number 5. Nurture inner peace over external validation. In our modern world, it's all too easy to become fixated on the opinions, approval, and recognition of others. Social media, peer pressure, and cultural norms often push us to seek validation from the outside world. We may find ourselves constantly checking for likes, compliments, or praise, believing that our worth and happiness depend on the acknowledgement of others. However, this pursuit of external validation can lead to emotional instability, as our sense of self becomes tied to factors beyond our control. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this trap by emphasizing the importance of nurturing inner peace rather than relying on external validation. The Stoics believed that true contentment and fulfillment come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. They taught that we should focus on living according to our own values and principles, rather than seeking validation from the outside world. This shift in focus allows us to cultivate a deep and lasting sense of peace, regardless of how others perceive us. To begin nurturing inner peace, it's essential to develop a strong understanding of your own values and what truly matters to you. The Stoics encouraged self-reflection as a way to clarify your principles and align your actions with them. When you live in accordance with your values, you create a sense of integrity and consistency within yourself. This inner alignment brings a profound sense of satisfaction because you know you're living authentically, true to who you are. It's this inner alignment, rather than the approval of others, that becomes the source of your peace. Imagine you're faced with a situation where you have to make a difficult decision, one that may not be popular with others, but is in line with your values. If you're focused on external validation, you might be tempted to choose the option that pleases others, even if it goes against your principles. However, if you prioritize inner peace, you'll choose the path that aligns with your values, even if it means facing criticism or disapproval. The satisfaction that comes from knowing you've acted with integrity will far outweigh any temporary discomfort from not being validated by others. Another important aspect of nurturing inner peace is learning to detach from the opinions and judgments of others. The Stoics believed that other people's opinions are outside of our control, and therefore they shouldn't have power over our emotional state. When you place too much importance on what others think, you give away your power, allowing external factors to dictate your happiness and self-worth. To counter this, the Stoics advised focusing on your own character and actions which are within your control. By doing so, you free yourself from the need for external validation and cultivate a sense of inner stability that isn't swayed by the fluctuating opinions of others. This doesn't mean you should ignore feedback or become indifferent to the thoughts of those around you. Constructive feedback can be valuable for personal growth, but the key is to remain grounded in your own values and self-assessment. Accept feedback with an open mind, but let your own judgment and principles guide your actions, not the desire to please others. In addition to detaching from others' opinions, nurturing inner peace also involves letting go of the need to compare yourself to others. In a world that often measures success by external achievements, such as wealth, status, or popularity, it's easy to fall into the comparison trap. You might find yourself feeling inadequate or envious when you see others who appear to have more or achieve more than you. However, Stoicism teaches that true success is not about competing with others, but about becoming the best version of yourself. When you focus on your own journey and progress, rather than comparing yourself to others, you cultivate a sense of inner contentment and self-worth that isn't dependent on external measures. A practical way to nurture inner peace is through daily practices such as mindfulness and gratitude. Mindfulness helps you stay present and connected to your inner self, allowing you to observe your thoughts and emotions without being carried away by them. By regularly checking in with yourself, you can maintain a sense of calm and clarity, even in the midst of external pressures. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts your focus away from what you lack or what others have, and instead helps you appreciate the abundance and blessings in your own life. When you practice gratitude, you reinforce a mindset of contentment and reduce the urge to seek validation from outside sources. Nurturing inner peace is about embracing the idea that your worth and happiness come from within. It's about recognizing that no amount of external validation can replace the deep, lasting peace that comes from living in alignment with your true self. By focusing on your own values, detaching from the need for approval, and practicing mindfulness and gratitude, you create a foundation of inner tranquility that remains steady even in the face of life's challenges. In the end, the Stoic path to emotional detachment is not about withdrawing from the world or becoming indifferent to others. Rather, it's about cultivating a sense of inner strength and peace that allows you to navigate relationships and life's ups and downs with resilience and grace. When you nurture inner peace over external validation, you become less reactive to the opinions and actions of others and more in tune with your own inner compass. This shift empowers you to live a life that is true to yourself, grounded in your own values, and free from the constant need for external approval. Detaching emotionally from someone isn't easy, but by applying these Stoic principles, you can cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and resilience. Remember, it's about mastering emotional detachment, embracing self-reliance, reframing your perspective, focusing on what you can control, and nurturing inner peace over external validation. These practices will not only help you navigate difficult relationships, but also empower you to live a life aligned with your true self. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit from these Stoic insights, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep striving for inner peace and strength.